Okay, well, in 1986, I had already was a qualified London guide. I qualified in 1984. It was February 1986. It was a cold day, wet day, miserable day, and I'd taken a group round the Tower of London. And there used to be, but not anymore, obviously, there was a tea caravan thing that used to serve tea outside the Tower of London, and the man who owned it knew all of us guides, and we used to get free tea, a free cup of tea. And one day, so I was standing there, I was fed up to the back teeth, with the rain coming down, and it was cold and miserable, and I saw this lady walk out of the Tower of London, and I could see she was wearing the same badge as me, that she was qualified. So I didn't know her from Adam, never met her. And for that matter, I've never seen her since. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I haven't. So maybe he was an angel or something, I don't know. Anyway, I waved to her, I said, can I get you a cup of tea? Now, she knew damn well I wasn't paying for it, but she said, yes, you can. So she came over, and we stood under the cover, and we're having a cup of tea, and she said, oh, I'm miserable. I said, so am I. And we, and I said to her, excuse me, I said to her, why can't I get a job like someone I heard of recently, working in the sunshine? Just go abroad, work in the sun. And she said, do you want to do that? And I said, absolutely. I said, you give me the chance, I'll go. So she took a card out of her purse and she gave it to me, and she wrote her name on the back and a phone number. She said, well, look, I can't promise you anything, but phone this man, tell him you've spoken to me, and he might be able to find you a job. And I said, who's it with? She said, you'll find out. And I said, well, thank you very much. And that was it. I went home, and of course the following day I phoned up this man. And he said, look, I'm up to my eyes. He said, I haven't got time to see you. I really can't give you an interview. He said, but I'll tell you what. He said, are you free on Saturday? And I said, well, yes, I'm not working Saturday, so I can come and see you. And he was in just down off Holland Park. And I said, yeah, okay. So he said, look, you turn up about 11 or something like that. And he said, we'll have a gin or something. And I thought, man, this man could be the man for me. He really could. So I turned up, and sure enough, we sat down, and we did have a gin. Actually, we had more than one, that's for sure. And we talked about travel. And that was, I didn't ask him anything. We're talking away, and what we like doing and where we like to go and all this kind of stuff. And he said to me, well, he said, I suppose he said, you know India anyway. And I just said, well, yes. I said, yeah, I did, which I didn't. I didn't know it at all. I said, I'd only been there once. He said, but you've been there. I said, yes, I can. He said, oh, good. And he said, I'm telling you God's honest truth here. He said, can you go in 2 weeks for me to take a group across India? I said, you must be joking. And he said, no, I'm not. I'm serious. He said, I need someone to take a group across India in 2 weeks' time. And I said, what's the name of the company that I'm going to be working for? And he said, Thomas Cook. And he was the manager of Thomas Cook. And I didn't know that. And so he said, right. 2 days' time, on Monday or whatever it was, he said, I want you up at the office in Berkeley Square. We're sending you to have all your jabs and injections and get all your insurances put right. And I went up there, did that, got the injections for multiple injections, and eventually I got all the stuff I needed, the itinerary and all this, and then I was told, you've got 40 or 45, I can't remember, 45 people you'll be taking with you. You meet them at Heathrow. I've given you this here, where you pick them up, where they will come and find you. You'll be standing at a certain spot in Heathrow, and you check them in, and you get on the plane, and you take them off to India. So I said straightforward. Now, I knew already, because I'd had a few days, I knew that I was not going to be a tour guide, because I couldn't do China, India, all the different countries. You couldn't do it. So you go as a tour manager, and so you're making sure that everyone's got their tickets, that you're going to get on certain planes at a certain time, where the coach will be, where your guide will be, that you're going to take them to the Taj Mahal this morning, and the guide will take over for you because they have to. You can't do it. And, you know, you've got to look after the people, make sure they eat well, take them out to the restaurants and all this kind of stuff. And just generally run a group of people and take them around. And I said, yes, I think, you know, I'm into myself. I can cope with that. So I set off with hope, met all my people, and all of the first, it always happened from then on. You know, you met your group and they say, how many times have you done this trip? Oh, God, I have no idea. I say, never said ever. I've never done it before. But after that happened many times when you went to China or Thailand, any country you like, Nepal. They always say, you always got someone who will come up to you and say, so don't you get fed up with doing this or going back or whatever? I only said once, did I get fed up? They said to me, you're going back to Bangkok, we're going back to Bangkok. I said, yes, we're going to Bangkok. They said, he said, I suppose you're used to this, aren't you? When were you last there? I said, last Friday. I said, I had 4 days off. Now we're off again. There we are. That's how it started, really. And from that moment on, when I got back, he phoned me up and said, look, I've had some good reports on you. So I'd like you to go off now to Thailand. And that's when I started Thailand. And then from Thailand, I went to Egypt. I went to do the Egyptian tours. And take the boat cruises down the Nile. So you were in charge of, well, you're not in charge of the boat, obviously, but you're in charge of all your people, taking them down the Nile and going off to the various places of importance and Tutankhamun, etc. And so started my life of travel. And I started off, and I finished up, well, literally travelling around the world eventually. So there we are. So that's the end of your report. How about that?